Hey, hello! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm reviewing a brand new album. An album that was released this Friday, actually. It's Sunday when I'm recording this, so I had a couple of days to just digest the tracks as it was, and what a treat it has been. I'm of course talking about Kim Wilde's new album, Closer. Yeah, she's back, and in really good form. Spoiler. This is an album I've really been looking forward to. Last year, in 2024, we were treated to two singles from this album, sort of a teaser of what's to come. And I was really blown away by those two singles. And I think in one of my last episodes from last year, I said, if there is a a savior of pop on the horizon in 2025, it should be Kim Wilde with this album. A very bold statement, some might think, because I only heard two tracks, but I had great confidence in Kim Wilde and the team because they have delivered before. Yeah, they did deliver. So, and yeah, once again, spoiler alert, I'm not disappointed at all. Yeah, so I'm going to go into more of the album design, how it sounds. I do have the vinyl copy, as you can see here in my hands, so we'll talk more about that later on. And of course, what the title Closer is alluding to as well. Well, most of you who are watching this probably already knows this, but yeah, I'm going to go into it later on. But let's first talk about the tracks on this album. I'm just going to briefly mention all of them and my impressions of listening to these a lot of times at this point. It all kicks off with Midnight Train. Midnight Train was the second single that we were treated to in 2024 as a teaser to this album, as I mentioned before, and it's just pure pop perfection in my book. It's a hint of what we used to listening to from Kim Wilde in the 80s. And of course, there's a lot of contemporary Kim Wilde in this one as well. It's updated to 2024, 2025. Yeah, it's just a great one. A very infectious track. And yeah, what more can I say? Pure pop perfection. Then it doesn't slow down at all. The next track, Scorpio, is just on the same energy level, or even a bit higher, actually. This is a rockier track, more pop rock from Kim Wilde, more what we got used to from her a previous album, Here Come the Aliens. More guitars and all of that, and of course she pulls it off brilliantly, and so does all the musicians involved in this one. I just love it. Like I said, very energetic, great, very infectious track. And it doesn't slow down. No, we just keep going into Trail of Destruction as the third track. This was the first single that we were treated to in 2024. And in my book of the two singles that was released last year, this is my favorite. It's if I thought Midnight Train was pop perfection, I don't know what this is. It just exceeds that. It's pop heaven, perhaps. Yeah, I really love this. That thumping bass in it, and of course Kim Wilde's voice. It's all there. I'm lost for words, really, for this one. I tried to make some notes. I actually have them right in front of me. And all I said, it was just a great track with a great build-up to the chorus. I love the chorus in this one. A true earworm, if we could use that expression. It's just a great one. Then it slows down a bit because we were treated to three very energetic tracks here. We're all up dancing. Now it's time to sit down, catch your breath a bit with the track Sorrow Replaced after the Trail of Destruction. And this is a track, a duet with Midge of Ultravox fame. I love Midge and his voice, so I was really looking forward to this one. It's got some really nice string arrangement. It starts out with the strings here, and the strings actually, I have to read here from the liner notes. It's recorded in Budapest by Budapest Scoring. Yeah, so I assume it's an orchestra that they use there. It sounds really lovely. It's a luscious sound to it. But I have to be honest here. It was one of those tracks I was really curious about because it's a duet with the great Midge, right? Yeah, so what a combination. Kim Wilde and Midge. And they really pull it off nicely here. It's a very sweet track, and I like the atmosphere it creates. But for some reason, it's the one track on this album, after many, many listens, that really didn't stick with me. And I'm not saying it's a bad track, because I do like the arrangements. I like the voices of both Midge and Kim here, but for some reason it really hasn't stuck with me. So yeah, I just have to leave it there. But then we move on to an even slower pace here. We go into a track called Lighthouse, the ballad. I was about to say the ballad of this album, but we're not really finished with those ones. No, but this is a track where Kim's voice really, really shines. She's got a great voice, as we all know, but this one, yeah, she really nailed it. And it's very atmospheric, this track. I just love this one. And it's the last track of the A-side, if you're listening to the vinyl copy of this one. And I think it ends that side, the A side, in a really good place. We're all calm now, and the whole track ends on a radio static, and yeah, it's just a brilliant closer for the A side. And then we flip things over to the B-side. And the first track is Love is Love. You got to have a love track on a Kim Wilde album, right? So here is the one, the love track. And boy, this is a tour de force of a track. This is Kim Wilde going into EDM/pop. Yeah, call it what you want. This is a banger of a track. This is such a great one. We're up dancing again, up on our feet. You can't sit still to this one. Something must be wrong with you if you listen to this one and you can sit still and just like, nothing. This is great. Great dance track. Love the production of this one. And yeah, wow. That's all I can say. What a track. And we nearly caught our breath from that one when we are treated to the second track from this B-side of this album. Whew! Rocket to the Moon. Yeah, we are out into space and the energy is higher than ever on this one. We are not slowing down. Another great banger from Kim Wilde and the team. Wow, it's all I can say. This is once again pop perfection after pop perfection. We are treated to so many brilliant tracks in a row here. Yeah, I'm nearly out of breath just thinking and talking about this. It's such a great one, and it's truly a rocket we're riding on this one. Then we're going into Hourglass Human. We're slowing down a bit, but not quite to ballady kind of level. This is a great, once again, duet between Kim Wilde and her niece, Scarlett Wilde. And boy, she's got a great voice, Scarlett Wilde. They are not similar, but it's very hard because when I was listening to this one for the first couple of times, I was like, is that Kim? No, that's Scarlett. Yeah, and now it's Kim. The voices really complement each other really well on this one. And it's a beautiful track, this one, Hourglass Human. Yeah. So, and it just continues here. Stones and Bones is the next one here, where Kim is reflecting on the world we live in, the hopelessness of things, you might say. But she reassuring us that it's not that hopeless, really. We are seeing the light in the end of a tunnel there. We just have to stand up and fight for whatever we believe in, and all of that. It's just a great, once again, a really great atmospheric track. Yeah. What more can I say? I really like this one, the production around it. For the first couple of listens to this one, Stones and Bones, wasn't really standing out to me. It didn't grab me. But I think after the third or fourth listen to this one, I just had it on repeat, basically, this album. And it started to oh yeah, no, I'm starting to feel it. It's one of those tracks that I had to had a couple of listens before it really grabbed me and lodged itself in my heart. But I love this one. It's a brilliant production. And then things slow down considerably. This is the last track of the album, and it's called Savasana. And I thought that was a very exotic name for the song, and I had to look it up. It's actually usually one of the last things you do in a yoga class or in a yoga exercise. The last pose, lying on your back, just relaxing yourself and releasing all the tensions. That is Savasana. And it's very fittingly for this album. We need to lie down a bit, to catch our breath, release our tensions, because this has been quite a ride. And the track itself, once again, very, very atmospheric, and wow, I am really, really blown away. So that was my quick summary of all the tracks from this brilliant album, Closer. And as you probably could tell, I love this album. I wasn't wrong in saying she is the savior, the pop savior of 2025. Things are off to a really good start this year with this album. I think the pacing of this album is great. Like I said, it starts out really energetic for the first three tracks on this one, and then it slows down a bit. We got the Midge and Kim Wilde duet there, and then it rounds off things with Lighthouse for the A-side, as it was. I'm still referring to the vinyl. If you're listening to the CD, it still rounds off things really nicely. So we get catch our breath a bit, but we'll soon into it once again with the first three tracks, like I said, on the B-side. It just keeps on going, and then it slows down a bit, and then the last tracks, we lie down on our backs, relax, release our tensions. Yes. Perfection. That's all I can say. The only one that I said that hasn't really stuck with me is that Midge and Kim Wilde duet, but still, it's a good track. It's a good track, yeah? But might grow on me more. Who knows? But let's now talk about... Let's start with the design of this one. It's very curious. Of course, it alludes to this one, which is Close from 1988. And I vividly remember when this one came out, and especially the singles, because I've listened to a couple of the singles before I actually bought the album in 88, and I was once again in love with Kim Wilde and her music. Listening back to this one today, it seems like you're listening to greatest hits compilation of sorts, because it does contain so many of her most well-known hits from this era. I mean, the A-side alone is just filled with singles, apart from one track there. But Hey Mr. Heartache, You Came, one of the most beautiful ballads ever written, four-letter word, in my opinion. And then Love in a Natural Way, which was also a single. And then you flip it over, you got Never Trust a Stranger. So it's just filled with hits for Kim Wilde, this one. And what a brilliant album it is. And I do believe it's her most successful album to date, still, this one. And she was really at the peak here with all these singles, this great album. And she was on a tour with Michael Jackson, where she was supporting him. It was just great times for Kim Wilde. So With this one then alluding to close, because she's closer, literally, on the picture as well, but I don't think that's the point of it. But yeah, she's got the same pose here. It's 2025. You might expect, yeah, this is just a follow-up album. We're going to be treated with pure 80s pop here, but that's not really the case. There are some elements of the 80s Kim Wilde in this one. But it's still a very contemporary sound, I would say. She is moving forward, and we've been seeing that for the last couple of albums, especially Here Come the Aliens, as I mentioned before. I think she's progressing, she's trying some new things, and this time around they said, well, let's, Close was really popular. Let's do a follow-up to that one, but with the sounds of 2024 or 2025. And that's exactly what they have been doing here. I love the production on this one. They are looking back, but it's not just pure nostalgia here. It's just new Kim Wilde. That's all I can say. So I love the hint of close here. Is this being closer? Back to pop roots, perhaps, you could say. And then on the back, we are treated with this, a lot of text here with all the musicians, of course, and a nice picture there of Kim Wilde, tinted in green, as you can see, track listing, cover photography, credits, and all of that. And inside, we are treated with this. I always appreciate when they print the lyrics on the inner sleeves, which they have done here, and all underneath all the lyrics we could also see who were the musicians on the different tracks, so forth and so on. I do appreciate that, and it's a really stiff cardboard ones as well, not flimsy at all. I really love it, and I don't think the camera can really pick it up, but you can see some faint gray lines here. We actually have that portrait of Kim here in the background as well, so there's some nearly hidden information in here. Yeah, I really like the design of that one. But something that perplexed me a bit about this one, something that we usually get with a record, is writing credits on this one. Because I wanted to mention it on this one, because it does say produced by Rick Wilde here, her brother, of course, that's been instrumental in most of her records as a producer and a writer as well. So I was a bit curious who wrote all these songs. So I couldn't find it here, but I was surely it must be here, but it's not. All we get treated to here are who were the musicians and background vocals and so forth and so on. And I really, really looked. I'm sure I haven't missed it because I've read this over and over again. So I had to turn to Spotify, actually, because you can bring up the credits for each song, and they are credited there. So mostly it's Ricky Wilde who penned these. Some of them, Ricky and Scarlett, the niece of Kim, the daughter of Ricky. And the third track, for example, Trail of Destruction, we have Darren Gilbert, Kim, Ricky, and Scarlett. So what a team there. But yeah. And then track 6, Love is Love, is actually Kim, Ricky, Scarlett, and Steve Anderson. And it does say, like I said here, produced by Ricky Wilde, but that track, the brilliant Love is Love, is actually produced by Steve Anderson. Yeah. So there you go. And it does say that on this one, but the writing credits are not here. I find that a bit odd. It doesn't bring down the record in any shape or form. I just found it really, really strange. Yeah, so enough about that. Love the design. And how about the sound? I opted in for the black vinyl, the classic black one. Cherry Pop, Cherry Red, I would say, is the ones who released this one. They always bring the goods, so to speak. They're really good on releasing stuff like this, and it sounds really good. I think the pressing of this one is great. The mastering of this one also stellar. I love it. I had no problems at all with this one. It's very dynamic. Sounds really really great. Yeah, and what I also want to say that you could actually get this one on white vinyl as well. I think it's still available, but at the time when I pre-ordered them, I was like, I was contemplating which one should I get, but for some reason I opted in for the black one. I just thought it was more fitting for this album for some reason, or I can't really remember my reasoning. It doesn't matter. I'm usually a sucker for colored vinyl, but in the end, I'm not going to sit here staring at the disc spinning on my turntable. I'm here for the music, for the listening pleasure, and you will get that in any way, shape or form. If you get it on CD, if you get it on vinyl or colored vinyl, yeah, it's in music, right? So yeah, and what else is there to say that I haven't already said about this one? It is a brilliant one if you haven't picked that up yet. I think this is such a great album. And as I said before, it is truly a great, great start to this year, and hopes for more pop going forward in 2025. More great pop. And we get to see more of Kim Wilde as well. I hope she's going to have, she's already on a tour, I think, or it's just starting. Yeah. But I'm surely going to catch her probably in London at some point in March. Yeah. So really looking forward to that one. And I really hope that she doesn't slow down at all. We could get some more releases, perhaps an expanded edition of this one. Who knows? Yeah. The future looks bright. This was Kim Wilde's Closer. And with that, I just want to thank you all for watching yet another video with me. I will be back very soon with more pop perfection, who knows, more rock, more industrial, more avant-garde music, who knows, anything could happen here. Yeah. So, but until then, you all take care of yourself, and as usual, I bid you adieu.